Hey everyone, we're here at Oregon Regionals, the Winter Regionals, and I'm here with Jack Pitcher, who made top 32 with his special version of Rayquaza eels. So, Jack, just talk about Rayquaza eels in general.
Well, the basic strategy with Rayquaza eel is to set up as many eels as, well, 3 or 4 eels, and then you alternate between Rayquaza EXs, hitting for 180 damage with Dragon Burst, and you'll have a fire on it, and then you just discard all the lightnings, and then Dynamo them back onto the other one. And then you free retreat with Sky Arrow, and you just keep on switching between them, and 180 KOs every EX without Eevee.
Yeah.
So,
seems pretty good.
Yeah.
This is a bit different than normal Rayquaza eels version. Like, most usually just play Lightning and Fire, but you decided to play like some more tech Pokemon and Prisms. So, can you talk about those?
Yeah. The Prism Pokemon I play are Sigilyph and Keldeo EX. Keldeo EX is a little more standard. The main reason I use it is because I don't want my eels to get catched up and stalled because they have 2 retreat, and you can't use Skyro with them, obviously. So
It's fine.
I'll rush in with Keldeo. I'll Dynamo to Keldeo first, rush in, retreat for 1 with Sky Arrow, and then back into my Rayquaza EX, which I can now Dynamo again to.
Yeah. And there's also Prisms to attack with it.
Yeah, with 2 Prisms, Keldeo EX one-hit kills Landorus EX, which is one of the biggest threats to the deck, which is useful. Sigilyph is more uncommon. The reason why I use Sigilyph is it's kind of like a wall against stuff like Landorus or Mewtwo, which can be an issue. It also it can also force my opponent to switch their strategies completely. Like, if I bench a Sigilyph, my opponent's going to have to build up a non-EX attacker, which can buy me time. And in this deck, setup is the most important thing, because once you're set up, you probably will win. And then it also acts as a Mewtwo counter on its own if my opponent tries to build up a big Mewtwo.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Now, let's just go over some like numbers on your thing. Like, you played 4/4 eels, which is that staple for Rayquaza eels now?
I believe so. It allows the maximum consistency of getting out eels. And if your opponent kills 1 Dynamo, you still have 3 left. So, and if you prize 2 eels, you can still get 2.
You played 2 Rayquaza EXs as opposed to 3.
Rayquaza EX, you want, like, the reason why you play 3 is for if 1 is prize, but because you only need 2 out at a time and you have super odds. I figured that because I play other tech attackers, I don't rely on the Rayquaza EX strategies quite as much, and I can take prizes with my other stuff. Unless my last Rayquaza EX and my last 2 prizes, and I don't feel like that's a high enough chance to warrant a spot in my deck, and I can still win even if that's the case.
And you also play 2 Emolgas.
Emolga is like the best starter in the deck, especially against the Landorus deck, because I can get out my Dynamos and I can keep getting them out over and over again, even if they always have to catch her.
Definitely. Okay, and then going now on to trainers supporter line. We'll just talk about it. For supporters, you have how many supporters? You ran 13 or 12?
I play 4 Junipers, 7, 10, 12 supporters at a Comb Search.
Yeah, so Comb Search can be used as it. As in terms of differences, like, you only play 3 Ns.
Yeah, I found that N was often a dead card, and it's useful early game and occasionally late game. If you got a slow setup, which is why I play 3. I don't play a forest because A, I need space, and B, like, I often found myself discarding them if I did later on. So
yeah, and then you also played 3 Skyla and 2 Bianca. Like, those numbers are usually interchangeable in most decks. How do you feel about like the numbers?
I really like Skyla. You can get so much with it. You can get a level ball for the Emolga. You can get the switch into the Emolga. Sky Arrow to allow yourself free retreat. Catcher, obviously. You can get another supporter. Super Rod to get yourself back. It's most especially useful for your one-up trainers, which are obviously going to be hard to get, but in those situations where you need them, you can Skyla for it. And that's really useful.
Okay. There's one more thing that's more interesting is you play 3 catchers. Now, I mean, catchers considered a 4 staple in every deck in the format, almost.
Yeah. I only play 3 catcher in this deck because the fact is that you're most likely going to be one-hit killing everything in the format. So like, the point of catcher is to get easy prizes, but you don't really need easy prizes as much. I still play free, so you can stall out or potentially get an EX KO when they have a non-EX active or something. But I don't think 4 is necessary, and also ideally you're going to be playing free EXs, free catchers, free EXs.
Okay, the list looks pretty good. Would you have changed anything in your list like after the tournament?
I would potentially have taken out a Bianca for an N. I used Bianca a total of 2 times over the course of the tournament.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't think I would have changed anything.
Okay. How do you find the matchups with this deck against the format?
It has a much better Blastoise Keldeo matchup than a lot of other decks. Simply because you can KO all their energy and you're more consistent in getting your energy back. They can win if they like get a Keldeo with 6 energy up and you don't have a response or something. But generally I think it's a pretty good matchup. Landorus is obviously a difficult matchup because they can kill Tynamos really quickly. Emolga luckily has fighting resistance, which helps a lot. So, and Sigilyph helps a lot against that. It really comes down to once you set up, you can win against Landorus easy. So it really comes down to how badly they can rush you and how many catchers they can hit early game.
Yeah, and then I mean the 3 major decks were Blastoise, these Landorus fighting based decks, and then of course Rayquaza Eels, which the mirror is probably a coin flip.
The mirror is annoying. Sigilyph does help in the mirror because it forces them to potentially use electric if they fill up their bench.
Yeah, or Zekrom or whatever.
Rayquaza, or if they've already used Rayquaza. Rayquaza is really important in the mirror. If I wanted to build my list more for mirror, I'd probably use 2 shiny Rayquaza and maybe a Raikou. Because shiny Rayquaza is really good. It kills Rayquaza EX and only gives up 1 prize.
So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Is there anything you would like to say about the deck or your tournament or anything?
I really like 6 Fire. Because that you need to hit it a lot.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just the way I lost is that's how the format goes. So
yeah, just bad draws or whatever.
Yeah. I think that this deck is really good, and I think it could have definitely won this tournament. But.
Yeah. So that's it for the Team B, Rayquaza Eels deck tech with Jack Pitcher. And see you guys around.